This is David. How are you?
Hello, Commissioner. I'm well. How are you?
Good. Let me get this meeting started and then we'll turn it over to you to give us some direction and information.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are you ready? Okay. All right, call this meeting to order. We're here to discuss the Public Defense Commission Annual Review and Updates with Jennifer Roark. And we're just with no further ado, then we will turn it over to Jennifer to share with us. Go ahead. I think we can all hear you. We have all three commissioners here.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I first wanted to start by introducing myself. I understand that there are new commissioners, and I wanted to extend resources and let you know what I do. My name is Jennifer Roark, and I am your regional coordinator with the Idaho State Public Defense Commission. We are a state agency that helps counties with their indigent defense programs by collecting data, supporting compliance, putting forth standards, offering training, and we give financial assistance and grants. So we are here to help you in county leadership improve indigent defense in Shoshone County. I will forward you all when we're done here, my email and my cell phone number. You can call me anytime with questions or needs, and if we're not able to help you, I can usually put you in touch with folks that can. I would like to meet with the county about once a quarter with your public defenders, so it gives us a good chance to check in, see how things are going, see if we can help anyway, and go forward in that way. Part of what we do through the Public Defense Commission is that we do what's called an annual review. That's a time where we all get together the winter of every year. We talk about what's worked, what hasn't worked, and what our plan is to improve indigent defense in Shoshone County over the next year. That culminates in a written report that comes out from the PDC on normally April 15th, probably this year around April 14th because the 15th is a Saturday. And that report will talk about the public defense standards, how Shoshone County is meeting each, and areas where we could work together to improve indigent defense. That is right in the middle of the financial assistance application time. So Shoshone County has traditionally received what's called formula financial assistance from the PDC. That is, once a year, we provide you with a percentage of what the county has historically spent. In indigent defense, the state or the PDC supplements that. Shoshone County very recently applied for and was granted what's called workload assistance. So that provides counties with additional funding if their attorneys have too many cases in order to hire new attorneys to be able to spread out that caseload. And so though that hasn't been something that Shoshone County has received every year in the past, it is something that they received in the past fiscal year. An overlay of all of this is, of course, that the House Bill 735A that was passed by the Idaho State Legislature last year provided state funding for indigent defense. And so there is a third type of monies that come into Shoshone County, those through the Idaho State Tax Commission, in order to cover costs of indigent defense. So I have both updates for you folks to just let you know what we're doing to try to assist the counties at this point. And then I just have a couple of questions, not so much questions because I know that some of you are new and wouldn't necessarily have answers for the past couple of years, but just things that have come up in the annual review meeting that I had with your clerk and with your primary defending attorney, and things that we could talk about in the near future. So to start out with, like I said, one of our programs is we offer training to public defenders throughout the state. The PDC has a 7-credit requirement. So all public defenders need 7 credits of high quality, relevant training to their indigent defense practice. To help counties and to help the attorneys get that amount of training, we offer several programs. We have a Leadership Institute that is actually happening next week. We are providing leadership training to attorneys so that counties throughout the state have good leaders not just public defenders. We are offering a trial college in May. That's an immersive program where attorneys are with us for a week. They work through a case problem, everything from voir dire through closing arguments. They work with some of the top public defenders throughout the country on those and receive real-time feedback and real-time information from those attorneys. Then finally, we have this summer what is called the Larry Posner Idaho Tour. Larry Posner is one of the top experts in the world on cross-examination. He also is rolling out a discovery method. He is going to spend a day in eastern Idaho, a day in central Idaho, and a day in northern Idaho. So he's going to be in Moscow, Idaho for 8 hours, meeting with just public defenders, and to work with them on both cross-examination and discovery. It's a really unique situation that we believe Idaho is the only one that has this opportunity with Larry Posner. We also then offer 2 series of CLEs or training. We do a monthly training called the Montroy series. That's an hour training from leading experts throughout the country, normally on substantive law issues. Then we offer a half an hour series every month called the First Friday series. Those are normally CLEs by the leading attorneys throughout the state of Idaho on more procedural issues, but it also gives attorneys a chance to talk with one another. So it creates a wider network so that attorneys in some of the smaller and medium-sized counties can get input from some of the larger counties and vice versa, so that we can create a better peer network and information network for all of your public defenders. All of these training opportunities are free to the county and they are free to defending attorneys. It is our hope that that can help the counties use what they would for training funds on other programs or other standards, and we can provide the training for free at no additional cost. Like I said, I wanted to update you on the PBC process. We have, like I said, we collect data, we share that data with counties, and we sort of have a yearly cycle that feeds into itself. So, like I said, we have this annual review process. You're going to receive a written report probably on April 14th. That will be in the middle of the financial assistance process, where you will work towards getting that application in. In the summer, you'll receive an award letter from the PDC telling you exactly how much the county can expect from the PDC, and then those funds will be deposited with the county right after the first part of the fiscal year. So those are sort of our next steps. I've been going on for a little while now. Does anyone have any questions about anything I've just said or any discussion you'd like to have?
Just that you'll be emailing some of this to us, correct? This information you just... I will email you. We're going to talk about your caseload, so the number of cases your attorneys have, and I'll email that to you. I'll also send you a link to our website that talks about our programs. There's separate links there on all our trainings. There's separate links on the types of financial assistance we provide. Links to the applications, like samples of the applications. You'll receive applications for financial assistance and such directly from us through the Adobe Sign program, but there are examples online so you kind of know what we'll be asking and how you would want to fill those out. So our website is pretty comprehensive on all the resources we add to the county. That being said, if you ever have questions or need something outside of those resources, please feel free to call me at any time. That's my job, is to support you folks. So if you ever have resources that aren't addressed on our website, just let me know and I'll see what I can put together. Okay, thank you. I do have a question, as all three of us are fairly new, and when I came in, I was the one chosen to write up the contracts for our public defenders and whatnot. Now, is that normally a position of the chair, or does it matter which commissioner takes on these tasks?
So it doesn't matter which commissioner takes on the task. We do think that it is wonderful that you folks are doing that task. One of the standards is independent. So a defending attorney or a public defender needs the ability to work with county leadership directly. There are some counties that have in the past tried to delegate those types of things to the prosecuting attorney. There's obviously conflicts inherent in that process because a prosecuting attorney has been working on what resources would be available to their opponent. So we highly recommend that commissioners take a direct role in those types of matters, and it sounds like you are, and so that's a wonderful best practice.
Okay.
Any other questions, Jenny, at this point? I think we're just rapidly all taking notes here, trying to keep up with you.
And I understand I'm throwing a lot at you, and I apologize for that, but I'm here, and we will meet quarterly, or I'll try to set quarterly meetings so that we can take things as they come up. I just had a couple issues that are real specific to Shoshone County. Things that we can discuss at our next meeting, but concerns that we have that we can all work together on finding solutions. The first has been a long situation, and there's not a situation that has been an issue for a long time. It's not something that there's obviously an easy answer to, but hopefully we can work together to come up with one. So one of the standards for public defense is that every public defender needs a private meeting space to meet with their clients. They have attorney-client privilege, and their clients need to be able to have full, open conversations with them without fear of jeopardizing their Fifth Amendment rights to remain silent. So that is a meeting space that is soundproof. That is a meeting space where only the attorney and the client are. That needs to be a meeting space at the attorney's office, at the courthouse, and at the jail. One of the concerns that has come up quite a few times is the jail situation. Both the jail situation and the courthouse, honestly. That the courthouse, though there is a private meeting space, it is in the basement. And when there is a shortage of jail personnel at the courthouse, they do not feel comfortable, which is completely understandable, taking in custody client down to the basement to meet with their attorney. They would like a secure space where they can stand outside. They don't hear anything, but there's also no risk of the in custody person leaving the premises or anything like that. So one of the things that we need to look at or talk about is creating a space. And I know that when I talked to your clerk, she said that there was talk about upgrading a space at the courthouse, but there does need to be a private meeting space there where the deputies say they feel comfortable transporting a client and leaving them in that space with their attorneys, so like there's no door access or open windows or those types of things, where the attorney can have these conversations with their clients without fear of being overheard or jeopardizing their Fifth Amendment rights. Likewise, at the jail, I understand that there continues to be a limited number of jailers. As a result, there are issues with getting time for being able to see a client. Also, there's just limited space there, so if there are other folks there, or if there's a PSI pre-sentence investigation interview going on, an attorney is not able to meet with their clients. Obviously, if a client is in custody, these are the only two spaces that an attorney is going to be able to have conversations that are important and imperative for their Fifth Amendment rights. So that's one thing for the commissioners to be aware of and start to discuss options is finding a way to create a meeting space at both those places. It's important to understand that they don't need a soda machine, they don't need a couch, they just need a couple of chairs, preferably a small table. They don't need anything extravagant, but what's most important there is that it is soundproof, preferably that there are not windows, so that they can have these confidential meetings without worries of folks overhearing. The other sort of issue that has recently manifested itself that has not historically been an issue, like the meeting spaces, are caseload limits. So one of the other standards that the Idaho State Legislature has passed are caseload limits. I'm sure you have heard or seen there are public defenders that have so many cases that they don't know if they're coming or going. They are not able to spend the time or the energy on any given case, and it can jeopardize the constitutional requirement that clients have a good public defense. So the Idaho State Legislature said that no attorney, no public defender in the state of Idaho should have more than 210 felony case equivalents of public defense cases. So we take all the different types of cases, the misdemeanors, the juveniles, the CPAs, we turn them into a fraction of the felony, then we add them all up, and then we give a felony case equivalent. No attorney should be over 210. Shoshone County right now has 2 attorneys last year that were over their caseload limit. Both Mr. Schwartz, who's your primary attorney, and Lisa Cheeseborough, who is one of his associates. So that is something that the county will want to take a look at. We recommend that the county meet with those attorneys at least quarterly to ask them, what's your case count? Are you getting close? And if they are getting close, what are we going to do to keep them under their caseload limit? Some options are you can send them out to your conflict program. You have, we show right now 4 attorneys that did conflict work in Shoshone County last year, and you can certainly say if one of our primary attorneys is reaching their caseload, we're just going to send it out to one of these other contract folks, one of these conflict folks. Hiring more primary attorneys, or finding a way, you have Amanda Finley as well in your county, possibly finding a way to see if she can take on sort of those overload cases. Like I said, last year, part of the Shoshone County request and something that I worked with them on was a workload assistance request, saying, hey, we need some money to keep our attorneys under. If you do come up with ideas of how the county can keep their attorneys under, you'll definitely want to apply for that under those caseload the caseload compliance financial assistance. Basically saying, we have a plan to keep our attorneys under, we're going to need some help with financial assistance on that, and you can apply for that from the PBC. And I'll send you, those are the caseload numbers that I will email you, so that you have those to take a look at. And if you have any questions when you're looking at those, let me know.
Okay.
Was it quite a bit over? Are we barely over, or are we quite a bit over?
Okay, so Chris is at 227, so he is roughly 17 over, and then Lisa is 250, so she's 40 over. The one thing that I do need to mention is the fact that Mr. Short's firm does practice in other counties. And so when talking to him about his caseload limit, though he's only 17 over, that's not something that is really alarming at first. He has other cases in other counties, and so we need to make sure that his total public defender caseload is under 210. So not only asking, hey, what are you doing in Shoshone County right now, but what is your overall public defense caseload, so that you can determine, does he have enough time and resources for the cases, for our cases here in Shoshone County. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, does he monitor that himself as well, and is he responsible to let us know, or is that something that we assume responsibility for, is tracking these caseload limits?
So under the rules, he has to come to you or the district court judge and say, I'm reaching my caseload or I'm over my caseload, what can we do? So he has an affirmative, all attorneys, not just Chris, all attorneys have an affirmative duty to come to you. But then the county likewise has an affirmative duty to keep folks under. So what I recommend, the easiest way I recommend, is just quarterly meetings. And like I said, I'll be meeting with you folks quarterly, and I'll reach out to your defending attorneys as well, if that's okay. And we can all meet at the same time. And then we can ask, what are your caseloads? What are your caseloads right now? And if they say 100, we say, great, we'll see you in a quarter. If they say 200, then we say, okay, what are we going to do in the coming months to keep you under? Or is there something else going on? Because, there are circumstances where something else could be going on where their actual caseload doesn't reflect their workload. So, for example, you could have a death penalty case. Those count for half your caseload, right? So a death penalty case can take up the space of over 100 felonies. But in those cases, maybe a client is in a state hospital, and there's nothing that's going on in the case because the client has been found not competent to stand trial. An attorney may say to us, hey, listen, I know that it looks like I have a death penalty case, but actually I'm not doing any work on it because the client is in the state hospital and we haven't had any hearings and we don't have jury trial. So there are those situations, and those meetings are great to let the attorney say, I know that it looks bad, but here's why it's not what it looks like. Things are different, or I have certain things going on that make it so I can continue to provide Sixth Amendment quality representation, even though my caseloads look high.
Okay, that helps.
That's all I have for you folks, but I'd be happy to answer any questions. I know that I threw a lot at you, so I'm also going to make sure to include my contact information. If you'd like to meet with me more often than quarterly, I would be happy to meet with you as often as you would like. I'm here as a resource, so I hope that you folks contact me, let me know if you have questions, or let me know if I can help in any way.
I sure appreciate it. Any other questions?
No questions. Just
Okay, I
check
think,
out the website.
yeah, we've got some homework to do.
Well, it was really a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I really look forward to working with you all, and I just want to thank you for taking the time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. You have a good
Thank
day.
you. Bye-bye.
All right. Do I have any public comment?
No, I didn't, I've never heard this before, so I just wanted to look at swords.
New stuff. All right.
Contract.
Any further comment from either commissioner? Either any of us?
No?
No? Meeting
No comment?
meeting adjourned. She had her finger on the button. She was ready.
Yeah.
It's all new to me too.
Yeah.
It's all new to all of us.